Hi guys, welcome to African Viewpoint. This is your boy Namdi. I am happy to be back with you today with a brand new video. Although I wish that I could be putting out video on a consistent basis, but you know, man has to put food on the table. But let me not just bother you with my personal issues. So this video is all about what has been trending since the past 48 or 72 hours right now. It has been trending on how Maduro, the former president of Venezuela, how he was, arrested alongside with his wife. So it has become a very trending topic because it is controversial because some are questioning the legality of, some are calling it the invasion of a sovereign state, and some are saying that it is long overdue for this man to be, brought to justice because of the hardship and the issues, the difficulty he has put his people through. And apart from that, he has been on the wanted list of the United States since 2020, I guess. There was a bounty on his head, $25 million. So Donald Trump has now said enough of talking. He has decided now to go in gun blazing to get this man arrested, and he did. But before then, he did. As you might have noticed or known already, that the thing didn't just start overnight. There was a build up for the past 2 or 3 months, since I think October or September. He has been building up around Venezuela, sending military hardware and assets around Venezuela and showing the indication that he was going to do something serious. And even I think Donald Trump said that he gave him the opportunity to exit Venezuela, but he refused. But he had to do what he had to do, because why he is on the wanted list of the United States is because he has been pushing drugs, which through boats and ships and through the waters, and Trump, his administration have been kind of, bombing and, destroying such boats, allegedly. So, then it got to the point that they had to go in. Nobody knew that this was going to happen. Nobody knew that it was going to happen, but nevertheless, it happened, and the operation was surgical, was smooth. No casualty was recorded on the United States part, and everything, and they were able to succeed and get this man back to the United States to face indictments, which is going to appear in New York. So the aftermath of this arrest now, kind of brought a lot of issues, a lot of debate, a lot of discussions, a lot of, condemnation, and a lot of, praises. But one thing I do know, and you may know also, that Venezuelans, I believe that the majority of them approve of this attack and arrest of this man, because this man has been a dictator. Nobody liked him. Nobody likes him, because almost everybody likes him, except very few that are benefiting from him. So, but the essence of this video is all about, I'm just a cap. It's just a cap. But the essence of this video is all about how the Democrats, the Americans, are reacting. Some are reacting positively, and some are reacting negatively. And those that are reacting negatively, they have even gone to the point of protesting. And then it begs for this question: what are they protesting for? Are they protesting for this man to be released? And this is exactly, it's crazy and insane. And of course, you know which side is protesting. Of course, the Democrats. They are the side protesting for this man to be released, and protesting the the violation of going into another sovereign country and arresting this. So these people, they have gone to the point, even though I may agree that there might be some legality issues, which is debatable, which the Trump administration has come out to say that this is not a full military um, operation, that it was kind of more like internal something domestic operation, because when they went for the operation, they went with the law enforcement to get him arrested and read him his rights and got him arrested. So it wasn't like it was a full military operation, and therefore it was legal, and the administration had no reason to inform the Congress. And the reason why they didn't inform the Congress is because there are leakers, and leakers are for the most part, is they are going to come from the other side, which is the Democrats. They are going to leak and maybe even compromise or jeopardize the operation and jeopardize people's lives in the course of it. So they decided not to inform them, and then they are outraged. People like Ocasio-Cortez, people like Chuck Schumer. In fact, I am on this side of the world looking at it, wondering why these people are doing this, why these people are rooting for other countries. And this is not the only case. This is not the only thing they do. This is not the only case that they actually root for another country, even for a dictator like this man. To me, the legality, okay, is debatable. You can debate it, but in this instance, I think that the what how did they say it, that the end justifies the means, right? At the end of the day, what they wanted to do is to arrest this man. Okay, so there are a lot of things, and now people are coming, even especially from the people, Trump haters, and on the left side, the Democrats are coming to say, that this thing is not all about drugs. It's not all about the crime that this man may have committed, about pushing drugs, narco terrorists, pushing drugs to the United States. And the main reason that Donald Trump invaded Venezuela was because of their oil. Okay. Now let's say it's because of their oil that he invaded Venezuela. You know that this issue of oil, because I understand that Venezuela has the highest deposit of crude oil in the whole world. And even if United States does not go for the oil, or does not, kind of want the oil, another country is going to really what China and Russia, what are they there for? They are there because of the oil, not that they are interested in Venezuelan people's interest or welfare. They are doing it for their own selfish interest. So Donald Trump has seen that Venezuela is a strategic country, and not only that, Venezuela is just in the backyard of America, of United States. And how would he allow countries like Russia and China to come in and be manipulating and be exploiting and be taking the oil that is in Venezuela, in their backyard, right under their nose? So I think, in my opinion, it is, even if he's going there because of the oil, is reasonable, because if the oil is going to be taken, let it be taken by the country that is close to them, and which is United States. All right. So people are arguing and this and that, blah blah blah. They are not talking about Russia and China that we are, exploiting this country ever since, buying oil from them and taking oil from them at a very, very cheap price. But now people will now go on ranting and complaining about United States being interested in Venezuela. So after the after the invasion and after the capturing of Maduro, now the naysayers, the never Trumpers and the Democrats, they began to say, even though the operation was successful and the rest, they will always look for one thing or one way or the other, to twist anything that Donald Trump might have achieved, to turn it into a negative way, for people to start looking at. So they said, yes, of course, that this thing was successful and no casualties. Even there was one that I watched on, is it ABC News? They were saying that Donald Trump mentioned that at the initial stage, and Donald Trump said that the military or uh, the military personnel that they might have been hit, and there might be some injuries, but let's wait to see. And you can see clearly as though they were hoping that it happens, that someone dies, that somebody is was seriously injured. And now they also pointed that now that he has arrested, what way forward? What is going to become of Venezuela? That there will be a power vacuum, and the rest. That was their lesson. So they didn't give him that even up to now. So when you look at it, they keep on complaining, and people keep on complaining. And I just sit by and I'm looking at this, and I've always said it, that even if Donald Trump found a cure for cancer, that these people will not be ecstatic about it. They will never give him the credit, but they will also find a way to use the cure that they found against him. Now, I don't know, many people may not know, because they may not know George Conway. Conway is a never Trumper, but he's one of those people that are also suffering from TDS. I watched his video earlier today when he was talking about the issue, and I didn't know he was the one at first. I just saw, and I was trying to and this guy was just going, the way he was with his narratives, the way he was going, it was just going as though he was, going against Donald Trump and the operation of the United States. And I was like, who is this guy? And I tried to look him up, and I say, aha, I knew it, that it must be one of those Democrats or never Trumper, and he was indeed a never Trumper. So he was saying that Donald Trump said that he has spoken to, because after the listing, the cabinet of the Venezuelan government cabinet, installed the vice president to be acting president. So Donald Trump said that he spoke to her, and that she agreed that they spoke, and she agreed that she was going to cooperate, and that they are going to work together with the United States. That's what Donald Trump said. So then he went on ahead to say, because I think after when Donald Trump made that statement, then the vice president, who is now in the capacity of acting vice president, now came out to say that condemned the arrest of Maduro. She condemned it, the arrest of Maduro, and now said that it was barbaric or whatever, and that Venezuela is not going to cooperate with the United States. So he was just he was gleeful about it, as though he was, saying, see, that Donald Trump and his operation was already meeting a roadblock. He was already hitting the rock, even though they arrested this man, that he was not going to get what he wanted, going into or having the control over Venezuelan government, that he was not going to have it and all that. So he mocked him. But lo and behold, after she said that, what happened? Donald Trump issued a very serious warning. And one thing with Donald Trump is that when he says something, you better take him seriously. You better take him serious. It's not Joe Biden. It's not Obama. Donald Trump, if he says something, he means it. Look at his records. So, and they knew better, because the moment he issued that, he told Venezuelan government and said that, and told the woman and said, look, if you don't cooperate, that United States, they are coming in back again. And that in her own case, her own situation might even be serious, that it might end very badly for her, even than it was to Maduro. Then that was when she backtracked and turned around and came out and said and started using a reconciliatory tone to say that they are ready to work with the United States. That's how strong leader works. That's how strong leader operates. Donald Trump believes in in peace through strength. So this is it. I'm going to show you the video of that, of the conway of this video. We are going to watch it together. Then after that, we're going to come back and we'll talk more, because this video is like, it's going to be a little bit long. But before we do so, please, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. I need your subscription. Do please subscribe right now. Subscribe if you have not. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. All right. Thank you for subscribing. Like and share and click the notification bell, so that anytime we release a new video, you will be one of those to receive it. And also share it so that people will get to see it, and also like, so that Google will know that this video is kind of interesting. Thank you, and let's watch the video.
What could be the most catastrophic strategic blunder of either of his presidencies, and the stunning thing is he doesn't even realize it yet.
Okay, before we go further with this man right here is George Conway. This man has extremely dose of TDS, Trump derangement syndrome. This man is a never Trumper. I just don't know. He has Donald Trump living in his head. If you don't know him, I think they are now divorced. I'm not sure. I think they are now divorced, because he was the husband to Mary Ann Conway, who worked in Trump's administration in his first term. But this man was always attacking Trump. So now, I am not even surprised at what he was saying. But listen to what he's saying.
According to CNN's comprehensive analysis published January 3rd, Trump executed a military operation to remove Nicolas Maduro that looks spectacular on the surface. But when you examine what's actually happening in Venezuela right now, you realize Maduro outsmarted him completely. Here's the scoop. Trump spent months planning this operation with CIA teams on the ground since August. Delta Force rehearsing on mock-ups of Maduro's compound, and an armada of U.S. warships surrounding Venezuela. But according to multiple officials who spoke to CNN and NBC News, the administration had no actual plan for what.
Did you notice who actually spoke to CNN, NBC News? These media outlets that he just mentioned are fake news media that are almost 90-something% biased against Trump. So whatever this man is saying, why I'm bringing this, I don't want to play the whole video of whatever the trash he's talking about, but his point is that he was rooting for Venezuelans, the dictator Nicolas Maduro. He was rooting for him and saying that even Venezuela, outsmarted Trump. That Trump is a moron, that he had no plans and whatever. So I just want to fast track to where he said something about the president, the vice president, who is the acting president now. This thing, that how she kind of stood her ground and was resisting Donald Trump.
Trump claimed during his Mar-a-Lago press conference that Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez had been sworn in as president, and told Secretary of State Marco Rubio during what Trump called a gracious conversation that she's essentially willing to do what we think is necessary to make Venezuela great again. Trump stated Rodriguez was cooperating and really doesn't have a choice, but according to reporting from PBS News, NBC News, CNN, and multiple other outlets, Rodriguez went on Venezuelan state television hours later and made no mention whatsoever of talking to Rubio, of being sworn in as president, or of cooperating with the United States. Instead, Rodriguez demanded proof of life for Maduro and his wife, called Maduro the only president of Venezuela, and stated that what is being done to Venezuela is an atrocity that violates international law. Venezuelan state TV showed no swearing-in ceremony, and the ticker during her address identified her as vice president, not president. So either Trump completely fabricated the cooperation story, or Rodriguez told him what he wanted to hear while preparing public resistance. Either way, it reveals that Maduro.
So, this guy, George Conway, all the media outlets is still citing NPR, PBS, CNN, NBC, MSNBC, all these outlets that he has been citing. Let me not just talk about that. Anyway, let me just make the point. This man is rooting for Venezuela, just like many other Democrats are rooting for Venezuela. This man, the video, initially I didn't know he was the one, like I said, until I found out. This man is suffering from a very, very high TDS. Now, he's now insinuating that Nicolas Maduro, who is in US custody, is playing what they call it, chess, while Donald Trump is playing checkers. That means what it means is that this man outsmarted a man that is in the cell, that is under captivity, under custody, has outsmarted Donald Trump. And he went on to rant and say a long list of things, citing places, like I said, places where United States has invaded before that never turned out well, and all that. And he's wishing that this happens in this case. It doesn't necessarily mean that it happened, that it's going to happen in this case, even though it happened in the past in other places. But this is what he's basing his analysis and his explanation on. So he said that the woman resisted, that Donald Trump was either lying, or the woman, just said whatever, that Donald Trump was either lying, that such conversation never took place, or that the woman, said the things that Donald Trump wanted to hear, so that she will now go ahead and say whatever she wants to say, her stance and her resistance in public, that she had come out in public to resist and say that you heard that the Maduro they must show proof of life to them, that the United States or Donald Trump has to show proof of life of their president that is under their custody, and that what they did was an atrocity, this and that. So saying that there will be a resistance in this government because she had been installed as the acting president. So that didn't stay for long until she changed her tune, because Donald Trump come at her. Like I said earlier on, he came at her and told her that if she doesn't behave, that the United States is going to visit Venezuela again, and when they do this time, that it might be worse than the first. And she came out and started singing a new song. George Conway, did you hear that? Let me play that video for you.
The country's legislature has convened for another 5-year term. It follows the bold U.S. military raid on the country's capital and the capture of President Nicolas Maduro and his wife. The National Assembly is the highest body of the legislative branch and presided over by Jorge Rodriguez. He has been president of the Venezuelan National Assembly since 2021, and he is the brother of Delcy Rodriguez, Venezuela's new leader. As we saw a few moments ago, she's now been sworn in. Rodriguez served as Maduro's vice president since 2018, overseeing much of Venezuela's oil-dependent economy, as well as its feared intelligence service. She initially called Nicolas Maduro's capture a violation of international law, but she has now changed her tune, saying she is offering to collaborate with the Trump administration. Since taking over from Maduro, Delcy Rodriguez has reached out to Donald Trump, striking a conciliatory tone. For more on what she's saying, we have an update from Manuel Rueda. He's a Venezuelan journalist currently working in Colombia's capital.
Well, Rodriguez's swearing in is based on a ruling, an emergency ruling by Venezuela's Supreme Court that says that President Maduro is temporarily unavailable to fulfill his duties. So Rodriguez has basically been given 90 days as interim president that can be extended for another 3 months with a vote from Venezuela's National Assembly. What she's saying, she's changed her tune towards the U.S. overnight, basically. So what she's saying now is that she's looking to establish a balanced relationship with the United States based on respects for both nations, and wants to establish a broad agenda of cooperation.
This news outlet is CBC, right? It's also one of the fake news. Her reconciliatory tone came after the threat by Donald Trump when she said some resistant words and comments, which Judge Conway cited in his whatever video. So when she said that, Donald Trump now issued a very serious warning to her, and she realized, oh, that didn't go very well, and she had to, backtrack and now, strike a more reconciliatory tone so that Donald Trump will not come again with a strike. Good for her. Good for her. So you have seen it. As we are talking about, Donald Trump, when he says it, he says that he's going to do something, he does it. He doesn't mince word. Anyway, Sha, this is what I think. Whatever you think about this issue, about what I have said, you agree or disagree, it's okay. We can only put it, you can always put it in the comment section below. And also, do not forget to like and share and click the notification bell so that anytime I release another video, you'll be one of those to receive it. So please do that. It will really, really go a very long way in helping this channel to grow. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Bye-bye.